So how does a trade work? What do you think?
Well, the best thing the Packers did in getting him back last year was they gave him an out, and I thought maybe to get him back they'd have to give him an out in 2022, meaning he'd be free to sign anywhere. Packers get nothing. They gave him an out in 2023, which means they can trade him this year and get a bounty. So if that's the move, you've just said it, how good he is. I don't know if there's been a bigger trade in terms of compensation back, but you can look at this like, oh, my God, the Packers played this immensely well. They got 2 years of MVP play, and now look what they're getting. And as to what they're getting, yeah, just throw it all in there, right? Like a couple to 2 to 3 ones, good young players in the mix. I mean, how many teams are going to be bidding for Aaron Rodgers? But bidding creates leverage, and leverage creates good packages.
But doesn't Aaron have to also be part of where he winds up, right? And
yeah. And that was part of the language. It was soft language, not written.
Right.
When he came back, he got the out in 2023, and this loose language about being part of the team, part of the decision in 2022. And then people can start connecting the dots if Nathaniel Hackett gets the Denver job. I mean, these are all speculation, of course.
Yes.
But there are things out there.
Yeah. So, okay. How does it work? They sit down and decide this is, where Rodgers says, I'm not coming back, because the Packers did say, you heard what Matt LaFleur said. He said that he thinks it's going to be different this offseason around because the communication's terrific. Rodgers essentially said, I'll make this decision before free agency, whereas last year it was so open-ended, it went all the way to the minute training camp hit. Right. So, how crystal ball it for me, did you think that this is it that they're going to have to, part ways, that you think that this has always been the plan for Green Bay, which Rodgers saw coming, the minute he was having his drink on draft night in 2020. And found it within himself to stay put for 2 years where he could feel comfortable doing it. So walk me through how this does work, what the mechanics are if they do, in fact, part ways, and he wants to keep playing as he should. What do you think?
Matt LaFleur said he had a long conversation yesterday or Monday, and I really would love to be a fly on the wall, because if I'm representing Aaron, I'm saying, what's the plan now? Well, we want Aaron back. When? Like, for how long? You want to lame duck? When do you want to go to Jordan? Well, because they don't want to answer that question. And I think Aaron's got to know the plan, and this puts a lot of pressure on the Packers. Forget cap. We'll work around the cap.
Right.
We're going to commit to you more than 2022. I mean, again, taking away the retirement question, if that's the case, I can see him staying. But if the case is, hey, we got to go to Jordan, and you waited 3 years, let's just play this year out. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers wants that. So then the decision is, all right, let's find a home. And if we get to that, then Aaron's very involved. And what about Denver? And what about this team? And what about that team? Do the right thing by Aaron, get the best package. All those things come into play. But I continue to get back to the question is, and this was the question a year ago. You take a first-round quarterback, he's going to play. He's not going to be flipped. He's not going to back up forever. He's going to play. Hell, even Johnny Manziel played. So when is Jordan Love going to play? I dealt with this for 3 years, 15 years ago, where Aaron's camp was saying, is he ever going to play? And Brett's camp was saying, I don't like coming to work every day and sitting with my replacement. So this is a lot to manage, and the Packers have to decide how much they want to go through this.
Isn't also, back you mentioned Andrew Brandt, longtime executive in the league with the Packers here on the Rich Eisen Show. You mentioned the two camps back in the day, Favre's camp and Rodgers' camp. Aren't they the same camp now? Aren't they both quarterbacks represented by the same agent, our friend David Dunn? Isn't that the case?
Actually, they are. Yes,
so, I mean, this is wild,
that does
man.
Complicate it. Well, but Aaron's, as people know, Aaron's got CAA very involved with his camp as well, even though David has been doing the contract. So, there are a lot of parties involved.
What's Gutekunst thinking right now, do you think?
I keep going to that image, Rich. April, the pandemic draft, everyone's in their home and basement with their kids. I keep going to that image of a smiling Brian Gutekunst and a smiling Matt LaFleur. They traded up for Jordan Love. So I get it. You got the best player in the league on your team. But what's the plan there? I don't think they want to waste that draft pick. I don't. I know Gutekunst comes from the Ted Thompson disciple of, live and die by your draft picks. So I think it's just fascinating that we have these two forces right now. And I keep getting back to my premise. Aaron's got to know the plan. And the plan is all in on Aaron? Great. The plan is let's just run it back a year and then Jordan? I don't know if he wants that.
Doesn't he get the Brady out if that happens? Because we mentioned we mentioned I guess to bring this all full circle, we mentioned or at least I did the Peyton Manning plan, right? Which is, go to Denver and ride off into the sunset with your championship there. But the Brady plan is you get to go wherever you want. So wouldn't he get to do that if he stays one more year? Right.
Right. I mean, that's the contract. But I get back to the loose language about 2022.
Right.
Does he want that? Does he want, again, to wait a year to do that when he can do it now? I think if he tells them that's what he wants to do and they can move to Love, which getting back to our start, that I think was the plan in 2020 to begin with.
Okay, so then crystal ball it for me best you can. Trust me, we'll have you back. We'll check your work. What do you think?
I think he's traded.
Okay. And that happens when? Right around whenever, and then it becomes official middle of March, right?
Correct. And I think he's a big part of the decision and where it goes. I think it's a mutual decision to move on from Aaron. Yes.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.